Hello everyone, welcome to Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast and India's #1 IAS and State Civil Services Coaching Academy. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic from ancient India, and the name of the topic is the Indus Valley Civilization. As you can see in my back, it's about the Indus Valley Civilization, what we are going to talk about. One very important phrase, what I am going to say you is, people without the knowledge of their past history, origin and culture is a tree without roots, which is being said by Marcus Garvey. History is very much important for us so that we can know our past, and by knowing our past, we can know our present, and we can also know what is going to happen in the future. Because history repeats itself, and studying history and knowing history gives us a lot of information regarding our past, present, and what is going to be happening in our future. The syllabus of the civil service examination demands a lot from the topic of the Indus Valley Civilization. So today I am going to take the topic of the Indus Valley Civilization, or the Harappan Civilization, or the IVC. So now, this is the Indus Valley Civilization, and the history of India, as you can see, the history of India begins with the study of the Indus Valley Civilization, which is very important topic of ancient India, which you all should know as an aspirant, which every Indian should know it as a citizen of India. And it's a very important topic by which we can know the past, that what has happened, how the civilization has flourished, what were the reasons for its decline, what was the climax phase of the Harappan civilization, etc., which we will talk in this class. So this is the topic for today, and it is for both UPSC as well as your state civil service examinations, the state PSCs. So now we have to know about the geographical location of the Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization. It is very much important that before studying of the Indus Valley civilization, you should know the dimensions and the area where it flourished. What were the main parts? कि ये कहाँ flourish हुआ था? इसका main parts कहाँ पे है? Hindustan का, India का, because at that point of time we did not have Pakistan. It was a big India. So which are the places which had, the regions, or which had the remnants of this biggest civilization of the world. So अगर हम लोग बात करें, if we talk about the northern part of India, it is at Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. So you draw a map like this: north, south, east and west. So it is in the Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. In the southern part of the Indian subcontinent, if we see it, it is at Damabad, which is in Maharashtra. In the easternmost part, if we see it, east में अगर हम लोग देखा जाए इसको, तो ये अलमगीरपुर में है, जो कि यूपी में है, which is in Alamgirpur, which is located in the Uttar Pradesh of present India. And the western part of this civilization is in Sukta Gandor. So these names you have to memorize it, which is in present Balochistan area of Pakistan. So we have to know it very well कि ये civilization कहाँ पे flourish हुआ था. Northern part, southern part, eastern part and western part. See, one very important thing. In history, do not negate maps. Map form a very important part of your syllabus. In the optional, you have a topic of the maps, where in the history optional, they used to give it to you to identify some locations. तो आपको identify करना पड़ता है इसके लिए. You have to identify the locations of various regions. They used to give you certain areas, and आपको identify करना पड़ता है उसको. So do not negate maps, and geography is very much important when you study history, because if you do not know geographical locations, अगर आपको geography के बारे में कुछ idea ही नहीं है, then studying history or knowing the archaeological sites, the archaeological places becomes very much difficult for you. So take it very simple. It is not a tough topic. History is not a tough subject. Many institutes, many coaching centers, they used to say this and that, but stick to your own books, stick to the NCERT books, stick to my class notes. So there are various rumors going around that history is a very tough subject. History is very much factual, but the real fact is no. History is not only factual. You have to understand the linkages. आपको linkages समझ में आना पड़ेगा. You have to know कि हम लोग कहाँ से start किए हैं और हम लोग कहाँ पे end करेंगे इसको. तो आपको इसके बारे में you have to have a full understanding of this part. So coming to the point now, as you have seen, these are the north, south, east and west locations of the Indus Valley. Indus Valley का north, south, east and west का locations ये रहा हम लोग के सामने. So this is the map. So आप लोग you please try to see the map, the Oxford Atlas, that where are the locations being located. Okay. So this is the extension. This is the geographical extension of the Indus Valley civilization. I am teaching you to the point. I don't talk here and there. You know, ऐसे हम लोग कुछ ही बात कर सकते हैं इसका बीच में, क्लास का बीच में, but I don't talk regarding all these things because our focus is, हम लोग का focus यही है कि you have to qualify the civil service examination. आपको civil service examination qualify करना है और हम लोग को दूसरा कुछ नहीं चाहिए. We are strictly following the syllabus of the civil service examination. That is the reason you might feel my classes to be little bit boring because I don't talk here and there, but then whatever I am saying you is very much relevant from the civil service point of view. Is it clear? So now, quick facts. These are the quick facts. It flourished around 2500 BC in the western part of South Asia, in contemporary Pakistan and Western India. It is very much important because do not keep the notion of Pakistan. At that point of time, there was no Pakistan. So it was India big as a whole. Clear? The Indus Valley was home to the largest of the four ancient urban civilizations in comparison with the Egyptian, Mesopotamian, India and China. See, the Indus Valley civilization is also called the urban civilization of the world. यही questions आप लोग का state PSC में आता है, यही question आप लोग का UPSC examinations में आता है, that why Indus Valley civilization is called the urban civilization. इसमें इतना खासियत क्या है? इसमें what is the importance of this urbanization in Indus Valley civilization? Because it is one of the civilizations which has shown urban character in a very much, in a very much different form, in a very much matured form during those period of time. During that period of time, वो ज़माने में एक urban civilization होना was, a very much kind of, a big thing to be taught in today's contemporary world. So Indus Valley civilization is one of the ancient urban civilizations of the world. Since it belongs to the Bronze and Chalcolithic age, when I will be teaching about the topics of Stone Age, I will come to this Bronze and Chalcolithic age. It is also called the Bronze Age civilization. It is very important from prelims point of view कि Indus Valley को हम लोग Bronze civilization क्यों बोलते हैं? What is the reason behind? Because of the massive use of bronze. So these small things are very much important कि Indus Valley को हम लोग क्यों बोलते हैं? What do we call Indus Valley? It is called the Bronze Age civilization. It is called the urban civilization. ये सब prelims में आते हैं आप लोग का. And this prelims thing, they maximizes it and they ask you in the mains as important questions. Now, it is also called Harappan civilization. Very, very important. After the first city unearthed, which is Harappa in Punjab, Pakistan. In 1920s, the Archaeological Department of India carried out excavations in the Indus Valley, where the ruins of the two old cities, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were unearthed. So in 1920s का बात है जो ब्रिटिश इंडिया था उस टाइम में. At that point of time, India was under the dominance of the British Raj. So at that point of time, by the contributions of historians, by the contributions of the colonial government, these sites were being discovered, that is Mohenjo-daro as well as Harappa. 1924 में John Marshall, Director General of ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, announced the discovery of a new civilization in the Indus Valley to the world. So these are the quick facts, and ये सब facts आपको description box below में मिल जाएगा, ठीक है? Now we go to the phases of the IBC. हम लोग का phases क्या है IBC में? Indus Valley Civilization का phases क्या है? What are the important phases of the Indus Valley Civilization? Which is very very important. एक तो हम लोग का है early Harappan phase, जो कि early phase, that is called a humble beginning. इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग early phase को बोलते हैं हम लोग humble beginning, शुरुआत, the beginning of the Harappan civilization. Clear? So this is the date. That is the early Harappan phase. Okay, we bifurcate into three parts. That is the early Harappan phase, the mature part or the climax. हम लोग का movies में होता है ना climax. We get a climax. We get we get the main point of the civilization. उसको बोलते हैं हम लोग the mature phase of the Harappan civilization. हर एक civilization में, if we go to Mesopotamian civilization, if I talk about the Egyptian civilization, if I talk about the Chinese civilization, we will be talking about the phases of the civilizations. And in the Harappan civilization, this is called the mature phase, which is 2600 BC to 1900 BC. Do you know what is BC and AD? BC is शायद आप सबको मालूम होगा, but then simply I am saying you that is before Christ, and AD is Anno Domini, and CE is the Common Era. So before Christ and after Christ, AD and CE is the same thing, and BC will be before the birth of Jesus Christ, because the date of Christ we take it as 0. Now the late Harappan phase or the decline of the IBC. This is the late Harappan phase, which coincides, ये phase coincide करते हैं Aryan invasion के साथ में. It coincides with the Aryan invasion theory given by various historians, given by various archaeological scientists. So, decline of the IBC and the invasion of the Aryans. I hope it is clear till now. So now, early Harappan phase. ये हो गया आप लोग का early Harappan phase. Hakra phase, because Hakra is a river. So this phase is identified, the Hakra phase is identified with the Hakra river valley with earliest examples of Indus script. With the earliest examples of Indus script, this phase is characterized by centralized authority, urban quality of life, established networks and cultivation of crops. So this is the early phase of the Harappan civilization. So ये dates, these dates they do not ask, but कोई state PCS में, कोई state civil service examinations में, जैसे कि हम लोग, if I talk about Assam, in the state civil service examinations they talk about the dates, कि mature phase कब हुआ था, climax कब हुआ था, decline कब हुआ था. So sometimes you can remember the dates, but you should listen to my lectures, you should listen to my videos as a story. Think myself to be a storyteller, and you listen to my stories and try to draw a good picture of exactly what happened in the Indian subcontinent 3,500 years back. So now, let me come to the second phase. That is the mature phase. As I have said you, it is characterized by Code DG. Code DG is a site. Code DG एक site है Harappan civilization का. So ये important site है. It is characterized by Code DG. The early Harappan communities were turned into large urban centers like Harappa, Ganeriwala and Mohenjo-daro in modern day Pakistan, and Dholavira, Kalibangan, Rakhigari, Rupar, Lothal in modern day India. So this is the mature phase of the Harappan civilization, एंड मैच्योर फेजेस का ये सारा इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज है, लाइक मोहनजोदारो, लाइक कालीबंगन, लाइक रोपड़, लाइक लोथल, जो कि इंडिया में भी है, पाकिस्तान में भी है, कोई कोई पार्ट इंडिया में भी है, कोई कोई पार्ट पाकिस्तान में भी है. सो दिस इज द फेज ऑफ द IBC, दैट इज द मैच्योर फेज, और व्हिच इज द क्लाइमैक्स फेज. क्लाइमैक्स फेज of the Indus Valley civilization. Next, the late phase, what I am saying is the decline. ये decline phase है. This is the decline phase of the IBC. It signifies the gradual decline of the Indus Valley civilization. जैसे कि मैंने आपको बोला that this is being characterized by the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. Although archaeological data indicates the persistence of the late Harappan culture till 1000 to 900 BC. जैसे कि कभी कभी कोई civilizations खत्म हो जाते हैं, whenever some civilizations, कोई सभ्यता जब खत्म हो जाता है, at that point of time it do not end abruptly, it ends in a phase wise. कोई भी चीज, anything in the world, it never ends immediately. It has got some contributions, it has got some tales of the end. So the Harappan that civilization did not end abruptly, but there was gradual decline, and we can say certain important dates that the persistence of the late Harappan culture till 1000 to 900 BC, which coincides with a very important topic of ancient India, that is the Vedic civilization, जो कि invasion of the Aryans, which is the Vedic age, जो हम लोग नेक्स्ट क्लास में कवर करेंगे. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट. See, these are important sites of the Indus Valley civilization. Important sites. Okay, so बहुत सारा sites है which you have to remember, and the discovery किसने किया था इसका? The people who discovered it. You have to know it very well, because UPSC में आजकल factual questions कम आता है. They ask you in a statement question much more, but in the state civil service examinations you will be getting questions which are factual. So हड़प्पा किसने डिस्कवर किया था, मोहनजोदारो किसने किया था, सुक्ता केंद्र किसने किया था. So these are all the sites. और डिस्कवरी किसने किया, इसका लोकेशन कहाँ पे है, इसका फीचर्स क्या है. नेक्स्ट, these are all sites, as I have said you, चुनहोरारो, आमरी, कालीबंगन, लोथल, सुरकोटादा, बनवाली, धोलावीरा. These are all famous sites. These are all famous sites in parts of the Indian subcontinent as well as in Pakistan, which is in present day Pakistan. Clear? Now, a very important aspect, salient features of the Indus Valley civilization. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है यूपीएससी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू और आपका स्टेट सिविल सर्विस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, कि इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन का सैलिएंट फीचर्स क्या है. कोई अगर आपको पूछेगा व्हाट आर द सैलिएंट फीचर्स, तो आपको ढेर सारा टॉपिक यू हैव टू नो इट, यू हैव टू नो मेनी टॉपिक्स एंड यू हैव टू राइट पार्ट बाय पार्ट each topic, what are the main crux, what is the main gist of each topics. So the salient features of the Indus Valley civilization is very very important. Is it clear? पहले में हम लोग आते हैं कि अर्बनाइजेशन एंड टाउन प्लानिंग. ये दोनों चीज जो अर्बनाइजेशन है और टाउन प्लानिंग है, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम इंडस वैली पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, बिकॉज नेवर बिफोर in the Indian subcontinent no urban civilization has ever flourished before the coming of the Indus Valley civilization. So दिमाग में बिठा लीजिए इसको, Indus Valley civilization is an urban civilization. Indus Valley सभ्यता is an urban civilization, and the town planning जो था इसका, ये बहुत, it was very important and it is a marvelous gift by the people who has given us this town planning during the time of the Indus Valley civilization. So now, town planning is the most important and distinguishing feature. जैसे कि मैंने आपको अभी बोला है, town planning is a distinguishing feature of the Harappan civilization, and it was called an urban civilization. State civil service exam में अगर आपको पूछता है कि सबसे बड़ा urban civilization इंडिया में हिंदुस्तान में कौन सा था, it will be the Indus Valley civilization. It will be the Indus Valley, the Harappan civilization. Is it clear? Note it down very well. Next, towns were divided into parts called citadel and lower town. हम लोग एक टर्म सुनते हैं इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में, we hear a term called citadel. ये होता क्या है? Citadels were occupied by members of the ruling classes, जो कि राजा वगैरह वहां पे हुआ करते थे ना. They used to occupy this part, the citadel part, and the lower town was inhabited by the common people. ये assumptions है, because Indus Valley script में, Indus Valley script is a pictorial script. We have got no idea what exactly the pictographical script talks about. We have deciphered, we have got archaeologists, we have got historians who talks about certain features of the script, but there was no script like Devanagari, or there were no script like present day India, or what came with the Aryans, the Sanskrit. The script was completely pictographical and it involved symbols. तो symbols को हम लोग को decipher करने में, symbols को समझने में हम लोग को थोड़ा सा problem होता है. So these are all assumptions given by the historians, and through the discovery of the cities, through the discovery of the towns, we have got this kind of informations. One interesting feature of the Indus Valley is the drainage. The drain system था ना Indus Valley का, वो सबसे, it was a famous system, जो कि अभी present day India में जो drainage हम लोग का होता है municipality में, we have drainages in our own cities, we have drainages in our own locality. It exactly resembled today's India's drainage system. That is why the Indus Valley had a distinguishing feature in the history of India. So the drainage system was very important. Drains were built of burnt bricks. Bricks है ना, जो ईटा होता है ना, we just used to burn them. जो कि जलाया हुआ होता है ना. The drains were built of burnt bricks and covered by stone leads. And also we have example of manholes. हम लोग के drainage system में अभी manholes हुआ करते हैं, जहाँ से वो लोग साफ करते हैं इसको, drains वगैरह को. So drainage system में उसी ज़माने में we had manholes, which is very important point of view, which is very important actually, because if you think 3000 years back, the mindset of the people, you know, the talent of the people, it is unmatchable, because at that point of time having a drainage system which is equivalent to today's India is something extraordinary and distinguishing. So now, Jorhat was the only town without a citadel. Please note it down for a prelims examination, prelims के लिए. Granaries. Granaries मतलब जहाँ पे हम लोग ना वो store करते हैं the items like wheat, barley and all, constituted an important part of the Harappan cities. In almost all cities, every big or small house had its own courtyard and bathroom. It's very important. In Kalibangan, it's an important site, Kalibangan, many houses had their wells, जो कि हम लोग ने discover किया हुआ है. At sites such as Dholabira in Gujarat, okay, Dholabira and Lothal is in Gujarat. These two sites of Gujarat, Dholabira and Lothal, is very very important site. The entire settlement was fortified. Fortified मतलब चारों तरफ से उसको घेर दिया गया है, and sections within the town were also separated by walls. So Dholabira and Lothal. Lothal was an important port in Gujarat, and Dholabira is an important site at Gujarat. धोलावीरा में रिसेंटली हम लोग ने डिस्कवर किया है एक बहुत बड़ा प्लेट जहाँ पे इंस्क्रिप्शंस मिला है हम लोग को. सो धोलावीरा एंड लोथल, लोथल इज द पोर्ट. सो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन में, व्हिच इज द पोर्ट ऑफ द हड़प्पन सिविलाइजेशन. दे कैन गिव यू ऑप्शंस लाइक लोथल, धोलावीरा, कालीबंगन, रोपर, कोटडीजी एक्सेट्रा. इट विल बी लोथल. करेक्ट. सो लोथल एंड धोलावीरा, प्लीज रीड इट वेरी वेल. You will get good information regarding the Indus Valley civilization. Now see, what I was talking about the drainage. आप देख सकते हो पिक्चर्स में ड्रेनेज है. can see the drainage of the Indus Valley civilization. These are all pictures which have been collected by the Archaeological Survey of India. It is the citadel, it is the lower town. अभी आपको समझने के लिए आपको you have to understand history very well, because without understanding, without visualizing, you will not be able to know what exactly happened in the Indian subcontinent 3500 years back. Now with the pictures, with a clear-cut understanding, I hope you will be able to understand the Indus Valley civilization very well. Next, the granaries, the well in houses. These are all pictures. The Great Bath, a very important Great Bath. मोहनजोदारो का सबसे important चीज है the Great Bath, which is a large quadrangular structure. In the center there was a huge swimming pool with the remains of galleries and rooms on all the four sides. The Great Bath had 8 feet thick outer walls. The water was discharged by a huge drain with a corbelled roof more than 6 feet in depth. There were arrangements for a hot water bath in some rooms. Most scholars agree that this tank would have been used for special religious functions. Please note down, religious functions उसी ज़माने में बहुत important हुआ करते थे. Though we do not know exactly what was the religion of the Indus Valley people. We have discovered statues of Pashupati Shiva. We have discovered yonis. We have discovered Shiva lingams. We have discovered figurines of Mother Goddess. But we are still unclear what the Indus Valley people worshipped or what was their religion, which is very much important, and it is a topic of historical research and archaeological study. See, these are the pictures, but you can see it. Now, second point, agriculture. Agriculture, as you know, is very much important for the sustenance of the economy. Economy का sustenance करने के लिए ना agriculture is very much important. So agriculture formed a very important aspect of the Indus Valley civilization. The Harappan villages mostly was situated near the flood plains. Questions आता है UPSC examination में that why all the great civilizations of the world, why the all big civilizations of the world flourished near the river banks. History is replete with instances that all the big civilizations of the world, like Wang Ho, it's a river-based Chinese civilization, Mesopotamia, Tigris and Euphrates, the Indus Valley civilization, the river Ghagar Hakra and the river Indus, वो सारा civilizations flood plains के पास में होते थे. So flood plain is very much important. Alluvial soil is very much important. When I will come to the topic of the Vedic ages, when we will see when the Aryans invaded the Indian subcontinent, the Aryans targeted the Indo-Gangetic plains. The Aryans targeted the Yamuna plain. Why? Not from religious point of view, but from agricultural point of view. That the plain is very much fertile for raising of crops like rice, wheat, barley, etc. So all the major civilizations of the world has flourished near the major river banks. If we talk about Assam, we will see the Brahmaputra plain, the Brahmaputra. If we talk about Assam, we will see that the Brahmaputra flood plain is very much fertile. The Brahmaputra plain is very much fertile in, giving us crops like rice, etc. So these all important fertile plains was being targeted by all the immigrants from various parts of the world, so that the sustenance becomes easy. Now, the Indus people were the earliest people to produce cotton. Again, prelims specific. Representations on seals and terracotta sculpture indicate that the bull was known. Bull was a very important sculpture in the Indus Valley civilization, was a very important topic in the Indus Valley civilization. we can find seals, we can find inscriptions of the bull in the Indus Valley sites. We have discovered seals containing the images of the bull at sites like Kalibangan, etc. Also, we have got seals at other sites apart from the Harappan civilizations. For instance, we have got seals at the Mesopotamian civilization at various sites, which indicates that the Harappan people and the people of the concurrent civilizations had relations with each other. उन लोगों के पास एक दूसरे के तरफ relations थे. They had relations with each other. So, the Harappan civilization people had relations with the people of the other contemporary civilizations of the world. Please note it down, and it is very much important, because while studying history, you have to know about what exactly was going in the contemporary world. For example, if I talk about 1991, if I talk about the disintegration of USSR, I also have to know about the liberalization, privatization and globalization, what happened in the Indian subcontinent, what happened in India. So we have to relate. हम लोग को relate करना पड़ता है. We have to relate to the contemporary world, what exactly was going when Indus Valley civilization was flourishing in India, what exactly was going in the Chinese civilization, or supposing Egyptian, or what was happening there in the Egypt, what was happening in the Mesopotamia, present day Iran. So these things are very important. Most Harappan sites are located in semi-arid lands where irrigation was probably required for agriculture. I have said you this, it is also very much important. Traces of canals can be seen in Harappan sites in Afghanistan but not in Punjab or Sindh. Although the Harappans practiced agriculture, animals were reared on a large scale. Pashupalan was very much important in the Harappan civilization. Evidence of the horse comes from superficial level of Mohenjo-daro and from a doubtful terracotta figurine from Lothal in the Harappan culture, and the horse was not so much, important, was not so much widely being found. As we can see figurines of various kinds of sculptures like the bull or the unicorn, etc. These are the images for your kind reference. These are all the terracotta figurines. These are all terracotta figurines. These are all the images. You please class 11 NCERT R.S. Sharma is very important for your ancient India. Class 11 का जो NCERT है ना R.S. Sharma का, it's very much important for your ancient India. So one more important book what you can refer is the Tamil Nadu State Board, the Tamil Nadu State History Board books. NCERT is very much important. My class notes, whatever I will be providing, Tamil Nadu State History Board books, one also important books. It's a bit costly actually. It's a book on ancient and early medieval India by Upinder Singh. Upinder Singh का जो book है, Upinder Singh, Ancient and Early Medieval India. Ancient and Early Medieval India by Upinder Singh, Tamil Nadu State Board, Class 11 NCERT by R.S. Sharma, Borthakur's IAS Academy class notes. My lectures is enough to make your topic of ancient India and the culture of ancient India very clear. So these are the images, these are the seals. आप पूछते हो ना कि seals कैसा होता है, तो seals looks like this. These are the images of the seals. These are all terracotta figurines, which even in fact we have. आज का date में भी ये we just get this kind of terracotta figurines in pottery or in the local shops. They used to sell it. Economy is very important. Economy is very important. Economy has played a very important role in the development of the Indus Valley civilization. Economy has played a significant role in the rise of the civilization. So economic point of view is very much important. As I have said you, numerous seals, uniform script, regulated weights and measures across a large area demonstrated the importance of trade in the life of the Indus people. Indus people had trade relations with other civilization people because we have found the seals of the Indus Valley civilization at various other sites of contemporary civilizations like the Mesopotamian civilizations, etc. Stone, metal, shell and other materials were traded extensively by the Harappans. Metal money was not utilized and trade was conducted through the barter system. Barter system का मतलब है exchange, in exchange of goods. You get goods when you give some precious items. They used to give you those things. मतलब there was no concept of money. They practiced navigations along the Arabian seashore. They had established commercial colony in the northern Afghanistan which aided commerce with Central Asia. They also traded with people living around the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Harappans engaged in long distance lapis lazuli trading. Lapis lazuli is a semi-precious stone. Lapis lazuli is being still used by the astrologers. It has a healing effect. It has a healing effect on the body and the mind and the soul. So lapis lazuli and all luxury kind of items, the Harappan people used to trade with the other civilizations of the world. So trade was focused, trade was mainly concentrated with the trade of luxury items. For example, the trade of amethyst. They used to get amethyst. Amethyst is a semi-precious stone. Amethyst is still being used by the astrologers when they have a problem with the planet called Saturn. इसका शनि का दोष चलता है ना? When you have problem with the Saturn, when you have some problems with the malefic effects of the planet called Saturn, you have a stone called amethyst. Amethyst is a substitute for a stone called Nilam. From astronomical point of view, from astrological point of view, I am talking about some astrology. So amethyst was very important, and this amethyst was being traded from Maharashtra. So Harappan people used to trade mainly in the luxury item, precious and semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli, amethyst, etc. They also traded with people living around. Okay, I have said all this, lapis lazuli. Okay, see कितने अच्छे से बनाया हुआ है पीपीटी. अभी आपको सब कुछ समझ में आ जाएगा. Now, after my classes, when you read the R.S. Sharma, when you read, Tamil Nadu State Board, when you read Upinder Singh, you can visualize कि Indian subcontinent में actually हुआ क्या था. And our intention is to qualify the examination. हम लोग को historian नहीं बनने का है. We don't want to become historian. We don't want to go into extensive research on what exactly happened in the IBC. We don't want to dig so much deep. We don't want to become research scholar here. Borthakur's IAS Academy or any coaching institute will not make you research scholars. They will give you generalized information, which is of course in depth, and then you have to understand it very well. हम लोग को research point of view से नहीं जाने का है. And we must not also engage in collection of innumerous books, because those books, those class notes, those videos which are important for you, that I will be providing it to you. UPSC never wants a scholar, or they never wants a dumb. They want you to follow the middle path. They want you to write answers like a normal people does. Because once you become an officer, you have to explain the hardcore facts to the common public in a very simple, in a very effective way. So do not try to gather so much information. Those informations which are necessary, any of these 3 books will be providing you. PPT, class notes and videos is sufficient. So these are lapis lazuli and all these kind of ornamental things. Next, आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट. ये आप लोग का आर्ट एंड कल्चर में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आता है कि व्हाट वाज द आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट ऑफ द हड़प्पन सिविलाइजेशन. एज यू कैन सी वी हैव गॉट टेराकोटा फिगरिंस जो हमने पहले डिस्कस किया था. द हड़प्पन से वेल वर्स्ड इन प्रोडक्शन एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ ब्रोंज, जो मैंने पहले आपको बोला, तो इट इज कॉल्ड द ब्रोंज एज civilization. Copper was acquired from Rajasthan's Khetri copper mines, while tin was likely imported from Afghanistan. Several artifacts has been discovered with textile imprints. The Harappans were known for their boat building, bead making, and seal making skills. Terracotta production was also significant skill. Goldsmith created silver, gold, precious stones, jewelry. Potter's wheel was very very important because आर्ट एंड कल्चर का जो टॉपिक है आप लोग का यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशंस में, उसमें पॉटरी का ऊपर में बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. वी हैव गॉट लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस ऑन द पॉटरी, द टाइप्स ऑफ पॉटरी लाइक ग्रे वेयर, यू नो, गोल्डन वेयर, द टाइप्स ऑफ पॉटरी which is very much important from the art and culture point of view, which we will deal separately in the upcoming videos. These are all figurines. What is being discovered? These are all the figurines. What is being discovered? These are all pictorial representation so that you can know it. Supposingly this is the Indus river, ये ऐसे जा रहा है, this is coming in this way. This was the trade and commerce, what was being going on in the Indus Valley sites, you know. Indus Valley society and culture is very much important from the point of view that the subsequent culture, the subsequent tradition aftermath of the Indus Valley civilization was changing, you know, drastically. When we come, if I take an example of the status of women in the society, it changed drastically in the ancient India. If I say about the graph, if I talk about a XY coordinate graph, if I talk in such like this, we will see that the condition of women declined. The condition of women declined. The condition of women was very much good during the Vedic ages. Then it certainly declined, and towards the end of ancient India in 750 AD, Anno Domini, the condition of women was totally horrible. The systematic, so the society, if I talk about the systematic method of weights and measures, 16 and its multiplies. Pictographical script, deciphering efforts by I. Madhavan, historian, equal status to men and women. As I have said you, this equal status to men and women was very much important because if we see the Vedic ages, the Vedic age was a patriarchal society with patrilocal norms. So the condition of women, as I have said you, deteriorated. It became high. And then it deteriorated towards the end of ancient India in 750 AD. Economic inequality, not an egalitarian society. Textiles, spinning and weaving was very much important. अभी हम लोग बात करते हैं इसका burial का. Burial or cremation. See, till that time, the Indus Valley people had both the system of destruction of the human body. The first was the burial system, and the second was the cremation. We have burials. There are certain kinds of burial practices of the Harappan civilization. One was complete burial, the second was post-cremation burial, third was fractional burial. So these are types of burials which we will talk in subsequent videos regarding the types of the burial mechanisms of the Harappan people. So this is about society, this is about anthropology, the type of people. These are Proto-Australoids and Mediterranean Dravidians. Though Mongoloids, Nordics, etc. were present in a city culture, we can see about this in, if you are interested in knowing about the races, about the types of the structures and all these things, you can have a good learning from books of anthropology, of the NCERT books regarding the IBC. Religion is very important. Religion. This is Pashupati Shiva. They were a worshipper of Pashupati Shiva, which is Proto-Shiva. Pashupati Shiva is not Shiva, it is Proto-Shiva. Okay? Pashupati. What is the meaning of Pashupati? He is the lord of all the Pashus. Pashu ka Bhagwan. Unko hum bolte hai Pashupati. We have a temple in Kathmandu in Nepal by the name of Pashupatinath. So it is very much important that Pashupati Shiva was very much prevalent, his worship was very much dominant during the time of the Indus Valley civilization. Pashupati seal has been found in Mohenjo-daro, which a yogi has been depicted. Yogi is none than Proto-Shiva. Yogi is none than Proto-Shiva. The yogi on the seal is surrounded by buffalo, tiger, elephant, rhinoceros, deer, because I have said he is Pashupatinath, he is the lord of all the Pashus. He is Lord Shiva, who is not exactly resembling Lord Shiva, but he is resembling the Proto-Shiva. Clear? Signs of phallic worship had been found, means lingams. Lingams and yonis. Guwahati, Assam is very much famous for a temple called Kamakhya temple, where it is being believed that the yoni part of goddess Sati fell down when Vishnu has cut the body of Sati, when Shiva was roaming by taking the body of Sati at various places. After the demise of Sati in the Daksha Yajna, Shiva was roaming, taking the body of goddess Sati, and Lord Vishnu has cut down her body into several parts, and the yoni part has fallen into the Nilachal hill of Kamakhya, which is in Guwahati, and we celebrate the famous Ambubachi festival, which resembles the menstrual cycle of the goddess. So since the Harappan ages, worshipping of the yoni, worshipping of the lingams is being prevalent. Till today we worship the lingams, we worship the yonis. A building, Harappans worship the mother goddess, I said you, evident terracotta figurine recovered from Harappa. A building called Great Bath has been found at Mohenjo-daro. It is meant for ritual bathing. I said you, it is meant for ritual bathing, like some ceremonies, marriages, death, etc. There is no evidence of temple. Very important prelims point of view, questions आएगा statement में. There was evidence of temple in the Harappan civilization. There was no evidence of temples in the Harappan civilizations. Which of the following statement is correct? 1, 2, both 1 and 2, none of the above, etc. So, we do not have any evidence of temple during the Harappan civilization. Make it very clear. Amulets or tabiz, what we say in Urdu, was being found in large number. There was no caste system. There was no caste system. Please note it down from prelims point of view, because caste system came only when the Vedic civilization had started. Only when in the Rig Veda the Purusha Suktam was being composed, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras was being completely given in the Purusha Suktam, which clearly mentions about the 4 category of the caste of the Indian civilization at that point of time. So there was no caste system in the Harappan civilization. I hope it's clear for you. This is all seals. Sorry, these are all inscriptions and seals. This is Proto Shiva. Proto Shiva. This is a very important aspect. This one, it's a very important thing. Actually, it's a humpless bull. What is the hump in a bull? A bull or a cow has, a male bull or a cow has got a hump in its back. There is a thing called, it's like this. Suppose it's a cow. Suppose it's called a hump. लेकिन इसमें hump नहीं है. It's a very important thing. In the seals we have got no humps. Clear? Decline. Very important. Invasion of the Aryans. Is one of a commonly accepted theory for the reason of the decline of the Harappan civilization. Aryan invasion theory is very much important, and it is a widely accepted theory, though many debates are there in history that civilization declined due to the invasion of the Aryans from the central part of Europe into the Indian subcontinent, and Rig Veda has also given certain kinds of information regarding the invasion of the Aryans. And Indra, the god Indra in the Rig Veda is called Purandar, which means destroyer of forts. Indra is called Purandar. Indra is a god, demigod, and he is being mentioned in the Rig Veda and the Vedic scriptures as Purandar, which means he is a destroyer of the forts. Clear? See, theories are there. Though there are various theories, the exact reason is still unknown. Historians, archaeological experts, research scholars are still struggling to know what exactly was the theory for the decline of the civilization. IIT Kharagpur has done an extensive study, and the Archaeological Survey of India has said that a weaker monsoon might have been the cause of the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. But though it is not so much accepted fact, environmental changes coupled with loss of power of rulers so that the administration could sustain, the city of life might be the cause. These are all theories. There might be some resources shortages to sustain the population, and then people moved towards southern part of India. Another theory by Dr. Graham Robbins states that the interpersonal violence, infectious diseases, climate change had played a several role in demise of the Indus Valley civilization. But the widely accepted theory is the invasion of the Aryans. State civil service examinations में ये questions आता है. Assam Public Service Commission में ये question आता है. In your state boards, this question might come: what is the widely accepted theory for the decline of the Indus Valley civilization? That is the invasion of the Aryans. Aryan invasion theory, Mortimer Wheeler, very important historian who has done a good commentary on the invasion theory of the Aryans. Tectonic movements by floods, Robert Raikes, change of the course of the river Indus, Lambrick. These are all famous historians actually, who has given their all theories regarding the decline of the civilization. But, as I have said, but, आपको ये याद रखना है कि IVC का जो decline है, widely accepted theory है Aryan invasion theory. Subsequent classes में हम लोग discuss करेंगे the Vedic ages, the Vedic civilization, जिसमें कि the Aryan invasion theory comes into play. So, अलग-अलग civilizations, early river civilizations, locations, authority, technology like Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, These are all some informations given over here which you can download from description box. So I hope you are all very much clear with this topic of Indus Valley Civilization, and I had tried to give my best in this video. If you like this video and if you are satisfied with my teaching, do subscribe to Borthakur's IAS Academy and stay tuned. We will be coming with various videos and clips in days to come. All the very best for your preparation. Thank you.
Borthakur IAS Academy.